Hey everybody, another GMG review. Today we're taking a look at Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Tomb World, the 2 kill teams from the dossier, and this is the Necron portion. As I show you guys the new Necron kill team. This is the Geomancer and their thralls. So basically the MacGuffin for this Tomb World is it's starting to wake up, and this Geomancer is the first to be awoken, and is supported by some tomb crawlers, a reanimator, some warriors, and an accelerator. So you've got 2 sort of unique little thralls here, in the form of your reanimator with his little grabby, or sort of accelerator with his little like shock stick, and then the reanimator with their little globe where they get to bring people back to life. You got 2 big gun-toting beasties in the form of the 2 tomb crawlers. With different guns. One is maybe the scariest gun in the game, the Transdimensional Isolator. I can't think of a scarier gun if I'm being honest. And then the Geomancer himself, which is a big new 50mm base character model. And was a bit of a pain to build. They've got a big case of the fiddlies. So definitely use some plastic glue on this one if you don't want it to fall apart later on. And I'll be painting these up, and the first 5 Death Watch to run through the Joint Ops missions from Kill Team Tomb World with a brand new table as well. I've already got all the warriors and the scarabs that come in this box set painted as part of my Necron army, so I'm not worried about that. So let's talk about this Canoptek Circle kill team. So you don't get a lot of choice in this one. You get a couple weapon choices, but for the most part, the team's kind of picked for you. You always have a Geomancer, you always have 2 tomb crawlers. You're gonna take the Transdimensional Isolator, but you only take 1, so you're kind of stuck building both. You have an accelerator and reanimator, so you always get one of those. And then 3 Canoptek Circle warriors, which can have options of a Gauss scalpel or a Tesla caster. I made 1 Tesla caster and 2 Gauss scalpels because I kind of like them the best. And they can do recon and security as their 2 archetypes. So really, you're picking like you're gonna take this thing. The Transdimensional Isolator is insane. So it's not really a choice, it's just you're only getting 1. And then you get to pick which of the 2 guns these 3 guys have. But that's it. There's no like other unit choices in this. It's just it's a bespoke kind of kill team. Their special rule is the Obelisk node matrix. As a strategic gambit in your first turning point, place your 3 Obelisk nodes basically on the table. And these are these guys? Which one's Obelisk nodes? Obelisk node markers are these guys up top. So you have more than 3 of these up top. Place your 3 strategic node markers wholly within your territory as a gambit. In each turning point after the first, you can move it up to 3 inches. Your node marker controls other markers. Markers control other markers within 1 inch of them that no enemy operatives can test. Treat your Obelisk node markers as friendly operatives for this purpose. If more than 1 player would use their Obelisk node markers in the same control marker, no Obelisk node markers control it. So I'm kind of bummed these are cardboard. I feel like they would have been cool, because like they are this thing that the Geomancer's holding. I'm kind of bummed they didn't just give us miniatures for them. Like give us 3 miniatures for them. Whenever your Obelisk node marker is within 6 inches of another Obelisk node marker, those markers in the area between them create an Obelisk node matrix, which is this line right here. So they shoot in between each other, which is again why I would have rather had a piece of terrain. So I might actually just make them. If all 3 of them fulfill this, it creates what's called a matrix. Whenever a friendly Canoptek Circle operative is within the matrix, weapons on its data cards have accurate 2 and add 1 to its APL stat. So that's a matrix. That's more than 6 inches, so it's not a matrix. That's the combined Obelisk node matrix. So they have to be inside it. And then hyper shielding. So this is, yeah, they control and contest objective markers. They're like extra models in your army, which is kind of cool. They can't really be attacked or destroyed. And they give you power-ups for your guys to make them a little less weedy. Because your guys are kind of junk. Except for the big guys, obviously, the guns. All right, strategic ploys, hyper shielding. Whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Canoptek Circle operative, if your Obelisk node matrix is intervening, or that operative is within your Obelisk node matrix, you can re-roll any of your defense dice results of 1 result, so like a 2, you know. Transdynamic amplification. Whenever a friendly Canoptek Circle operative is shooting, if your Obelisk node matrix is intervening, or a target is within your Obelisk node matrix, that friendly operative's weapons have the ceaseless weapon roll. So reroll 1s. And then cryptogravitic repulsion. Once per action, the first time an enemy operative would move within your Obelisk node matrix, the distance is treated as an additional inch. So basically, they push through the wall. This means that if the operative doesn't have sufficient move, they can't move into your node matrix. And then Soul Drain, whenever an enemy operative is within your Obelisk node matrix, or whenever it's fighting or retaliating against a friendly Canoptek Circle model that's within the Obelisk node matrix, fucking saying that's so difficult, subtract 1 from both damage stats of that enemy operative's melee weapons to a minimum of 2 until the end of the activation or counteraction. Note this means that the enemy operative moves through the matrix. Apply this change at the end of the move action until the end of the activation or counteraction. So basically, they're almost like moving through quick stand and moving in slow motion, so they're less damagey. Now, all of your strategic ploys revolve around the placement of this matrix, and you can't measure the matrix through walls. So it's gonna be difficult to use in this particular terrain setting, but probably a lot easier to use in like Volcus or the outdoor settings of Kill Team. That being said, you can really, like if there's only like one way through in the Tomb World, you can really mess up somebody's day by hiding behind it and having it as a wall. And then our firefight plays. So animate Obelisk nodes. Use this firefight play when it's your turn to activate or counteract. Move any number of your node markers instead. They can move up to 6 inches combined, and the distances are always rounded up to the nearest inch. For instance, you can move 1 marker 6, 3 markers 1, or any combination that doesn't exceed 6 total. You can also move them 0. And then Shield Flare. Use this firefight play when an attack dice inflicts normal damage on a friendly Canoptek Circle operative. If your Obelisk node matrix is intervening or that friendly operative is within your matrix, ignore that inflicted damage. Note that your opponent determines intervening, so where on the operative's base to draw the targeting lines from. So, yeah. Basically ignore 1 dice of damage, but if your opponent can see you, then you're not intervening. Nodal response. Use this firefight ploy during a friendly Canoptek Circle operative's activation. Before or after it performs an action, you can either change one of the ploys you use during this turning point, only pay additional CP if that ploy costs more, or use a ploy now and pay its CP cost as normal. So basically you can go back in time and pick one of these things after you've like moved stuff around. And like sucker your opponent into a different play. And then finally, Sacrificial Thrall. Use this firefight play when a friendly Canoptek Circle Geomancer operative is selected as the valid target of a shoot or fight action. Select 1 friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible and within 3 of that first operative to become the valid target instead. If it's a fight action, treat them as being in control range. This play has no effect on shoot actions in a Blast or Tauren. So basically, you can always throw dudes in front of them to fight. And then we're going to go through the equipment real fast, and we'll get to the last of it. So yeah, so you can see Obelisk nodes, and these are the marker templates, and then these are for all the abilities. So faction equipment, a matrix manipulator. Once per battle during a friendly circle operative activation or counteraction, you can use this rule. If you do until the end of that activation or counteraction, a friendly Canoptek Circle Geomancer operative is treated as your 4th Obelisk node. So you can actually use him to link it, because he's got one on his body, on the miniature. Awakened Obelisk nodes, seated into place. After revealing this equipment option, roll a d3. You can use the Animate Obelisk nodes firefight play, 0 CP a number of times during the battle equal to the result. So you get a bunch of pushes for the nodes. Nanoscarab Caskets, whenever a Canoptek Circle operative is activated, it gets d3 lost wounds back. I mean, no brainer on that one. And then finally, a phase shifter for the Geomancer, once per turning point when an operative is shooting at them. At the start of the roll defense dice step, you can use this rule if you do worsen the X of the piercing weapon roll by 1, and then ignore piercing 1. So literally everything in this kill team revolves around having the Geomancer live, having the nodes juicing up your guys and keeping you from taking damage. And then that faction equipment is kind of non-negotiable, because you're going to need to move it sometimes as like the opponent angles around you. And the healing one is so key, because all your warriors only have 7 wounds. They're just guardsmen with 4+ saves, but still just guardsmen. Because it'll bring them back from injured. Like it's so important. All right, let's talk about the Geomancer. So he's got a gun. He's got his Tremor Glaive. It's either Part Matter or Quake. So Part Matter is a low attacks, 4 shots on 3s, 4/5 damage with piercing 1 and piercing crits 2. And then Tremor Glaive is 6 attacks, 3+, and then it's 1-3 damage, blast 2, seek light, and stun. But then you can sweep with it in melee, severe shock and stun. It's a really dangerous melee weapon, 4 attacks, 4+, 4/5 damage. Shock and stun is really handy, and then severe, of course, allowing you to bump up dice too, which is nice. So 14 wounds, 3+ save, 3 APL. It's a Space Marine, basically, and it's hyper dangerous. You've got Molecular Breach as a unique action, and you can do it as a support. Select one friendly circle operative that's visible to and within 6 of you. Alternatively, you can select one friendly circle operative visible to this operative and within your Obelisk node's matrix, so the support doesn't apply to this selection. The next time the operative performs an action in which it moves, don't move it. You may instead remove it from the kill zone and set it back up wholly within a distance equal to its move stat, or 3 inches if it was a dash of its original location. Measuring horizontal distance only in a kill zone that uses close quarters, this distance can be measured through walls. So it's like a teleport, basically. Note, it gains no bonuses for performing the charge action if you set up in melee. It must be set up in a location it can be placed, and unless it's the charge action, it cannot set up within control range of enemy operatives. And you can't do it while you're engaged. Then you got Canoptek Control. And I believe you can do this to yourself too. So yeah, you can molecular breach yourself around. So select one friendly Canoptek Circle operative visible to within 6 of this operative. Alternatively, you can select one friendly Canoptek operative that's visible in support of the Obelisk node instead. So you can do it through the nodes. They're kind of like little focus points for this. The selected operative can immediately perform a 1 AP action for free, but it can't move more than 2 inches. So you have a little nudge with that one. And then Geomancer Disturbance, select a point of terrain feature. That point must be visible to and within 8 of this operative. And separately roll 2d6 for every operative within 2 inches of that point. If it's equal or higher than the remaining wounds of the model, it inflicts damage equal to the difference. So you could finish off a whole wave of guys with that one. You will kill your own guys too, though, which could be okay. You can't perform this action while you have a conceal order or you're within control range of an enemy operative. So you got some cool stuff going on, and you're definitely tuned to fight in the tomb world with being able to bounce stuff off walls, teleport through walls. Like, you're designed to be here. It's your home, basically. All right, the Tomb Crawlers, 21 wounds, 3+ save, 5-inch move, 2 APL. The Twin Gauss Reapers are great. Focused and sweeping, 5 shots, 4+, 4s and 5s, piercing 1 severe, or Torrent 1 if you're sweeping and you lose a shot. The Transdimensional Isolator, though, my God. Dimensional Banishment, 4 attacks, 4+, 4/4 damage. After this operative uses this weapon, if you inflicted or retained any critical successes, if the target was incapacitated, roll 2d6. If it's higher than its remaining wounds, it's incapacitated. Just dead. Just dies immediately. So like a Space Marine, let's say you do 4 damage to it, it's on average got what? Like, if it's a Phobos, it goes down to 9 wounds. If you can hard roll a 9, it's just dead. Higher though, you have to hard roll a 10. But it just kills little guys, like immediately. Anyone who's got 10 or less wounds, you're rolling a 7+ on average. So if you have 10 or less wounds, if you get hit by this thing once and take damage and you got a crit, you're probably just gonna kill it. That is a terrifying gun. And if you like really, really get it out there and do a whole bunch of damage, like, cause it's 4/4, like your base damage is 4 as well. As long as you get a crit through, man, oh man. It's steadfast when determining control of a marker. It has 3 APL. If you do this, takes precedence over all the rules, meaning any changes to the APL set are ignored. And then Weapon Sentinel, whenever your opponent selects a valid target, if this operative has a conceal order, it can't use light terrain for cover because it's so big. So basically it can be targeted. It doesn't remove any cover save. And we got our Warriors, 2 APL, 7-inch move, 4+, and then 7 wounds, just like little dudes. Then you can choose between either the Tesla Caster with Focused or Living Lightning, where it gets Blast 2. And then Gauss Scalpels, which are piercing 1, 4 shots, 4+, 3/4. I made 2 Gauss Scalpels, so I like the piercing guns, and 1 Tesla Caster. And then it's got basic Space Marine attacks, 3/4 damage on its melee for the claws and tail. It's expendable. It's ignored for your opponent's kill elimination op. It's also ignored for any victory conditions that require you to escape or survive or be incapacitated. A Ceaseless Scuttling, as a strategic gambit in each turning point after the first. If you have less than 3 of these guys, you can set up another one ready and with a conceal order wholly within your drop zone and select its weapon as normal. So these guys come back. They never really die. And then finally, aggressive defense. This operative is incapacitated by an enemy operative. Within 2 of it, roll a D3, and on a 2+, inflict damage equal to the result. Because they blow up. They like thrash and die. So I love these little guys. Again, you don't get a lot of choice, but you can make the choice over and over again. So you do get your hands on more of them. You can change their weapons up. And then our 2 special ones. We have the Accelerator, same core stat line. It's got a Spark. 4 shots, 4+, 2/3 damage, range 4, and piercing 1. And then overcharging it, select one friendly Canoptek Circle Canoptek operative visible to and within 3 of this operative. Alternatively, if this operative is within your node matrix, you can select one other one. Until the end of the turn, add 1 to its APL stat, because you just juice it up. And then Cranial Overload, select an enemy operative visible within 3, and you shock its brain. If it's in the node matrix, you can have it done through that as well. It's -1 APL. So you just give him like this little zap, like shock his brain. So it's either +1 to you or -1 to an enemy. It's a really handy ability. And the Reanimator, he was also Weiyun in Deep Space Nine. Atomizer, deep cut for you guys. Atomizer Beam, it's 4 attacks, 4+, 3/4 damage. Range 6, but lethal 5+. Has a cool little like disintegrator. And then Reanimate, once per turning point, when another friendly Canoptek operative would be removed from the kill zone is incapacitated. If that operative is visible to and within 6 of this operative, or it's in the node matrix, you can use this rule. If you do, the friendly operative isn't incapacitated, has 1 wound remaining, and that operative then immediately performs a free dash action. If this rule is used during the friendly operative's activation, that activation ends. So as long as this guy's alive, he can zap people to keep them alive on 1 wound. And then you got, for 1 APL, your Nanoscarab Beam. It's basically a healing aura. If you're visible to within 6 of this guy or in the node matrix, you can pick somebody and they regain 3d3 lost wounds. But it can't be an operative that used Reanimate this turn because you're already using the beam for that. So this guy wants to support the gun bots, obviously, and sit in between them. The little warriors want to run off and get pushed around basically. And the Geomancer wants to let people do additional actions. So you can even use the accelerator to juice the Geomancer up. So everybody kind of supports everybody. And the real dance, and I think the intricacy of this one, is going to be the node matrix, how you place it and where you place it. The combos are really obvious, right? You want to take the faction gear for sure. You want to probably play them in the Tomb World or fairly dense terrain setup like Vulcus. But the game is actually going to be played with the Obelisk node markers. They're going to be the important thing because so much of your ability, like literally all your abilities are linked to it, and you enhance abilities through it because you get to use them as a line of sight marker basically for everyone else's abilities. It's just shooting through the matrix. So again, a very thematic kill team, probably harder to play, definitely harder to play than the kill team for the Death Watch because they're just like straightforward kill you. They're gonna brute force all their solutions, whereas these guys are gonna have to like worry about the matrix and moving around. The teleport is really cool though to keep your Geomancer out of trouble. Obviously the healing is huge in this faction because you just have base healing from your equipment as well. And they look like they're gonna be fun to play. I would recommend this one for a kill team player that's got some experience under their belt though, unlike the Death Watch who are just gonna be kind of like a straight up kill you faction. So there it is, the 2 kill teams from Tomb World. Man, I'm excited about this box. It's got me re-jazzed about kill team. I kind of took the summer to play a bunch of indie games this summer and getting back to doing a bunch of joint ops and doing one of these 2 kill teams for Tomb World and the other one for Typhon I think is going to be super fun. So stay tuned. My social media, you get to see all these guys getting painted up this week. And you'll see your first game coming up this week too. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Ash. Okay.